Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another video. This is Speak Me Life Coaching. My name is Davina, and I just pray that everybody is having a fantastic day. Um, Hopefully, you can all hear me well. I'm not too sure if my headphones are playing up, but in fact, hopefully that's a little bit better, right? Because I just took my headphones out because I wasn't too sure if they were working properly. But I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. It's a glorious day here in London, and I'm just here on my regular walk to work. My little curls right there. I just wanted to talk to people today about something that came to my mind yesterday. I believe it was yesterday when I woke up, and it was just a simple thought. As I opened my eyes, I felt God was just saying to me, don't worry about anything, pray about everything, right? Don't worry about anything, pray about everything. And the thing is, at present, myself and Kevin, we are in a season of transition. I would say transition, right? Things are changing, things are developing, things are growing, and it, on the surface, it can feel and look a little bit daunting. Like, what are we doing? Are we making the right choices? Are we making the right decisions and things? But I know that we are, but sometimes making those choices and those decisions aren't necessarily going to feel like you're making the right choices and the right decisions. But I was in a session with a lady a couple of days ago, and she was saying to me that she had these ideas, but she didn't know which one was God, which one to take, that kind of thing. And it reminded me of when I was at I can only say like a junction, so to speak, where I had a couple of choices available in front of me, and I was conflicted by all of these choices. I didn't know what to do next necessarily. I didn't know if this was crazy, if the next step that I was considering was crazy, if I should stay in the safe zone, if I should just stay with what I always knew. But then when I looked at it, what I always knew in the safe zone wasn't working for me. It hasn't worked for me up until this point. So why would I want to stay there, right? And as I was deliberating, I was like, God, is this you? Is this not you? I don't know. I don't know if I should do this. I heard this one simple thing on the inside of me, and he simply said, just make a decision. Just make a decision, right? And I realized, I've read a couple of books, and I've seen this come across in like a number of books I've been listening to the audio book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it says your best self now, be your future self now. That's it, be your future self now. And he was talking about the power of just making a decision, right? Just making a decision, because once you make a decision, it's going to bring you out from a place of confusion. Because once you make that decision, what that's going to do is going to take you from a place of confusion, because confusion is the suggestion that there's options, right? And you don't know which one to decide on. So because of that, you're to-ing and fro-ing, you're back and forth in. But it doesn't have to be that way. Once you make a decision, you cut yourself off from all the other options, and you say, okay, this is the one that I'm committing to today, right now, right? And it doesn't mean that it has to be the right decision. It just means that you are making a decision based on the information that you know and that you have right now, right? Because nobody can see into the future. By faith, we're taking steps, but it's not like we can see into the future. We are trusting God based on what he has told us in his word and his promises, right? So this is what we're doing. But it's like, as you make that decision, now you are saying, okay, I am being committed to this thing. And as I'm committed to this thing, now I'm going to move forward. And the thing is, once you commit to something, now, I don't know how it works, but now life has the permission to start sending you answers, right? Answers that you may not have seen or heard or understood had you not have made that decision, right? And it's that simple. And so once we decide to make a decision and we stick to it, now we take ourselves out of a place of confusion, right? That's how it works. So once you've removed yourself from a state of confusion, now you can begin to move forward. And what is happening from you making a decision, you're now taking yourself from a place of stuck, where you were stuck before because you were indecisive. Now you've taken yourself out of a place of stuck and you've moved yourself into motion, right? And as you begin to build this whole thing of motion, you are now creating momentum. And momentum is a thing that's going to propel you forward, right? And so as you're moving forward, now God can begin to give you the directions, right? Because beforehand, there was no point in him giving you the directions. Why? You didn't have any momentum. You wasn't going anywhere. You wasn't moving forward. But now you're moving forward. So now he can give you the next steps and the next steps and the next steps, right? And then before you know it, this thing is now being mapped out in front of you. And had you not have just taken that first moment to make a decision, you may have remained stuck. So when I'm talking to you about this stuff, I'm not talking from a place of where I don't know. I'm talking from a place of experience. From a place of experience of where, I just made the decision to make a decision. And once I made the decision, I stuck to it. Now, is making that decision always the easiest thing to do? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's going to be one of the hardest things you have to do. But what are your other options? To remain stuck, to remain indecisive, to remain in the same place where you are now, the status quo as it is, even though you don't like it? No. So today it's like, just make a decision. A decision. Because, I heard this one simple thing, and the person said this. He said, this life is not a dress rehearsal. It's not a dress rehearsal. And time is our most precious thing that we have. And every day we're trading time in for something else, for outcomes that we don't even want or desire. But actually, it doesn't actually have to be that way. And so Kevin and I are in the process of making some major decisions, but we are trusting God in the process. And even if our choices, our decisions, should I say, are not necessarily the best decisions in that moment or in that time, we believe that God is bigger than our messes. He's bigger than our mistakes. And I think he enjoys the fact that we are doing this by faith. Why? Because he says without faith, it's impossible to please him. Because those that believe must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. We are supposed to live by faith. Faith doesn't have all the answers. Faith doesn't have it all mapped out, right? God does, but we don't. But we take bold steps, trusting and believing that he's able to lead us and guide us into what he had for us from the beginning, right? From the beginning. So do yourself a favor. If you are deliberating today about what to do or how to do it, just do something. Take a step forward. Take a step forward. At least go research, At least go research and look something up. If an idea has come to you and you've been thinking like, well, what do I do with that? At least go look it up. So as I was saying, if you have an idea of something, right, and that thing seems so far removed from where you are now and the possibilities of it ever being a real thing, don't discredit it. Don't write it off. Write it down. Write down the idea. Begin to think over it. Begin to ponder over it, right? At the very least, go away and do a little bit of research. Go see what it is. Go investigate it a little bit. Go look. Just go look. Because you know what, right? This reminds me of Moses. Moses was just living his ordinary, boring, dull life on the backside of the desert. He didn't think anything was ever going to change, even though he knew he was destined for more. He didn't know how it was ever going to happen. Why? Because nothing had changed over the past 40 years. Why would today be any different? And in that day, when he went out to go tend to the sheep out in the wilderness, what happened? He saw a burning bush, right? He saw a burning bush. Now, this is the thing. It wasn't normal. It was out of the ordinary. He could have dismissed it. He could have dismissed it and completely walked past and said, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not paying attention to that. But he said within himself, he's like, hold up a second. I see this tree burning, but it is not being consumed. So he stopped. He stopped to observe. He stopped to look. He stopped to pay attention. And in that stopping, God spoke to him. God spoke to him and began to give him direct instructions on what he was going to do with his life. Perhaps God has given you a burning bush moment, an idea, a thought, something, and you have dismissed it as crazy. Go back to it. Go back to it. Go back and at least look at it. Pay attention and trust that maybe, just maybe, the Holy Spirit might be trying to show you something about yourself and about your future. I'm telling you, because what he has planned for you is far greater than anything you can ask or imagine. That's who our Father is. So stay tuned to this channel, because like I said, myself and Kevin, we're up to some things. And on the surface, granted, it may look a little crazy. It may just look a little bit crazy, but we are going for it. Why? Because this life is not a dress rehearsal. Anyhow, love you all. Bye-bye.